They're coming to you, not a text, not a call, not a carefully worded message sent from the safety of a screen where they don't have to see your face when you read it. They're coming in person to where you are, to your door. And I need you to understand what that means before I explain anything else. Because showing up at someone's house, that's not casual. That's not something people do when they're feeling lukewarm about someone. That's not the move of a person who is fine, who has moved on, who is okay with how things are between you. That is the move of someone who has run out of other options, who has tried everything else, who has sent the texts and made the calls and dropped the hints and waited for things to naturally resolve themselves and watched all of it fail to produce what they actually need, which is to be in front of you, physically, in the same space, with no screen between them and whatever truth they've been carrying around for longer than they know how to keep carrying it alone. So let's talk about why, because the why here is everything. Give me a second with this energy because there's a lot layered here and I want to make sure I get it right. The first thing standing out to me, this person has been in their head about you. And I don't mean occasionally, I don't mean here and there when something reminds them of you. I mean consistently, daily, in the kind of relentless mental loop that happens when something is unresolved and your brain refuses to file it away underdone and move on. They've been going around and around with something, a conversation they wished they'd had, something they said that came out wrong, something they never said at all, something that happened between you that never got properly addressed. And the weight of that unaddressed thing has been building quietly at first, then louder. Then loud enough that they can't sleep through it anymore, can't distract their way past it, can't logic themselves into being okay with the silence. And so they made a decision, a real one, the kind that comes after a long internal argument where one part of you says, don't do it, it's too much, what if they don't want to see you, what will you even say? And the other part says, I don't care, I cannot keep doing this, I have to go. And that second part one, have you felt something unresolved hanging between you and someone specific? Like there's been this thing that neither of you has properly faced? Tell me in the comments. Because what I'm feeling right now is very specific. This isn't vague. This has a location. This has a face. And I think you already know whose face it is. Okay, let me go deeper into the why. Because there are actually multiple layers to why this person is planning to show up. And understanding all of them is going to help you know how to be when it happens. The first layer is urgency. Something shifted recently for this person. Something changed in how they see the situation between you. Maybe they heard something. Maybe they saw something. Maybe something happened in their own life that cracked them open and made everything that was theoretical suddenly feel very real and very urgent. Whatever it was, the comfortable distance they had been maintaining doesn't feel comfortable anymore. It feels like loss, active, ongoing, unnecessary loss. And they've reached the point where maintaining that distance is more painful than the vulnerability of showing up at your door would be. That's a significant threshold to cross. Most people never cross it. Most people choose the comfortable pain of staying away over the terrifying risk of actually showing up. The fact that this person is planning to cross it, that tells you something about how deep this runs for them, about how much they've tried other things first, about how seriously they take what exists between you, even now, even after whatever happened, even after however much time has passed. The second layer is something I feel very specifically, and I want to name it carefully. This person is afraid of losing you permanently. Not temporarily, not for a season, permanently. They've started to feel the reality of a future in which you are simply not there, not a part of things, not reachable. And that future, when they really let themselves feel it, is unbearable in a way that surprises them. Because maybe they thought they could handle it. Maybe they told themselves they were handling it. And then something happened that showed them they were not handling it at all. They were just postponing the feeling. And the feeling caught up. Does that resonate? Have you been sensing that someone has been realizing something lately? Something about what they stand to lose? Drop a comment because I feel this so strongly right now. Now, here's the layer that I think is going to surprise you, because it surprised me when it came through. This showing up, it's not just about what this person needs from you, it's also about what they need to give you, something they owe you. Something they know they owe you and have been not quite ready to deliver, because delivering it requires a level of humility and honesty and accountability that is genuinely difficult. That costs something real. That requires them to stand in front of you without the armor they usually wear and say something that makes them vulnerable in a way they're not practiced at being vulnerable. There's an apology in this visit, or something that functions like one, something that acknowledges what happened, what their role was in it, what it cost you. And I feel this very specifically. They have rehearsed this in their car, in the shower, walking around their apartment at 2 in the morning. They've said it out loud to no one. They've tried to find the words that are big enough to carry what they actually mean. And they keep coming back to the conclusion that no words are going to be sufficient, that the only thing that has any chance of being sufficient is presence, actual physical presence, looking you in the eye, saying it to your face, being there for your reaction rather than hiding behind a screen where they can close the app if it gets too hard. That takes something. That takes real courage. And I think on some level you already sense that this person has been building towards something, building toward this. Let me talk about what's going to happen when they actually show up, because I think it's important to prepare for this, not in a strategic way, in an emotional way, in a this is how to be present for a significant moment kind of way. When they show up, your first instinct might be protection, might be the walls going up immediately, the closed face, the careful voice, the version of you that doesn't let things in before you've assessed whether they're safe. And I understand that instinct. That instinct was built for good reasons, built from real experiences of being hurt or disappointed or let down by people you trusted. And it has protected you, really protected you. But here's what I want to say about it. That protection, it's going to want to be in charge of this moment. And if you let it be fully in charge, you might miss something. You might miss what this person is actually bringing, because they're not coming to take something from you. They're not coming to make you feel worse. They're coming to offer something real. And receiving something real requires a crack in the armor, just a small one, just enough to let the actual thing in rather than just the performance of the thing. You don't have to be fully open. You don't have to make it easy for them. You don't have to pretend that whatever happened between you didn't happen. You're allowed to be complicated about this. You're allowed to feel multiple things at once. But try to stay present enough to actually hear what they came to say. Because I feel like what they came to say is something you need to hear. Even if you're not sure you want to, there's something else here. And this is the part that I wasn't expecting when I started this reading. This visit is a turning point, not just in the connection between you and this person, but in your own story, in the trajectory of where your life is going. Because something about how this moment goes, something about how you receive this person, and what gets said and what gets resolved, or at least acknowledged between you, is going to affect what comes after it in ways that are bigger than just the two of you. I know that sounds significant. It is significant. Because there are moments in life that function as forks in the road, where the choice you make or the way you show up determines which version of the future you step into. And this showing up, this person at your door, is one of those moments. Not because of them specifically, because of what it represents, because of what saying yes to the conversation, or yes to the hearing, or yes to even just letting them stand there and say what they came to say, what that yes means for the version of you that walks forward from this moment. Letting people in when you've been hurt is an act of courage. Receiving someone who has something real to offer, even when you're guarded, even when you're not sure you trust it, even when some part of you wants to send them away to protect yourself, that's brave. And brave moments tend to open brave futures. Have you been at a crossroads lately, feeling like something in your life is waiting for you to make a move? Drop a comment, because I feel this energy of choice, of fork in the road, so clearly right now. Let me talk about this person for a second, because I want you to understand what they've been going through, what they've been sitting with, what the inside of their experience has looked like during whatever time has passed since things between you changed. They've been struggling, not in an obvious, everyone can see it way. In the private, internal, nobody knows how much this is costing me way that some people are very good at hiding. They've been showing up to their life, doing the things, appearing fine, and underneath that fine, carrying something that doesn't get lighter with time, that actually gets heavier, because time without resolution doesn't heal some wounds. It just makes them more specific, more precise, more clearly about the exact thing that didn't get addressed. And the exact thing that didn't get addressed is you, is what exists between you, is what was left unfinished, is the version of things that could have been and wasn't and might still be, if they can just get to you, if they can just be in front of you, if they can just say the thing. And I want you to know that, not to make you feel guilty, not to make you responsible for their emotional state, but because understanding that this person has been genuinely struggling, genuinely carrying something real, changes the context of the visit. This isn't someone coming to cause drama. This isn't someone coming to make your life complicated. This is someone who is simply at the end of what they can carry alone. And they've chosen to bring it to you because you are the only place it belongs. That's actually, if you let yourself feel it, that's quite something. To be the place someone brings the thing they can't carry alone anymore. To be that significant to someone. To be the person they get in their car and drive to when they've exhausted every other option. Okay, I want to say something directly to you now. Just you. Because this reading isn't only about them and what they're planning. It's about you and how you actually feel about all of this. You've been pretending to be more okay than you are. I feel that clearly. You've been doing the thing where you tell people you're fine, you're over it, you've moved on, it doesn't affect you the way it used to. And some of that is true. You have grown. You have moved forward. You are not the same person you were when this all went sideways. But there's a part of you that never fully closed the door. A part that, when you're really honest, really quiet, really alone with yourself, still feels something when you think about this person, still wonders, still holds a small, stubborn, refuses to die piece of hope that things between you don't have to end the way they seem to be ending. That part of you, it's allowed to exist. You don't have to be ashamed of it. You don't have to keep talking yourself out of it or calling it weakness or telling yourself you shouldn't care this much. Caring isn't weakness. Hoping isn't delusion. And the fact that something real existed between you, that doesn't just evaporate because things got complicated. So when they show up, let that part of you be present too. Not just the guarded part, not just the self-protective part, the real part, the part that actually knows how you feel. Because this moment deserves the real version of you, not the performance of having it together. Here's what I want to leave you with, because this is the message underneath everything else. Someone is coming to you, someone who has thought about this more than you know, who has rehearsed this more than you'd believe, who has been carrying something toward you that they couldn't deliver any other way, and they are coming because what exists between you, in their estimation, in their experience, in their private truth, is worth showing up for, worth the vulnerability of, worth the risk of your door being closed or your face being cold or the conversation going badly. They are betting on the possibility that it won't go badly, that you'll open the door, that you'll let them say what they came to say, that whatever is between you still has enough life in it to be worth the showing up. And I think they're right. I think there is enough life in it. I think you feel that too. Even if you're scared to admit it, even if admitting it feels like making yourself vulnerable in a way you promised yourself you wouldn't be again. Be vulnerable anyway, just this once. Let them come, let them say it, let yourself hear it, and then decide with full information, with the real thing in front of you rather than the story you've been telling yourself about how it is. Because the story and the reality, they might be very different, and you deserve to know which one is true. They're coming. And I think part of you has already felt it, that pull, that sense of something approaching, that inexplicable awareness that something is about to shift. Trust that feeling. It knows what it's talking about.